Welcome to the B-side, where we talk about Bond shit that's not necessarily the movies. And today, we'll be doing the second half of our Lazenby Dalton series, where we do Lazenby Dalton Henchmen. Yes, we'll be ranking them combined. So 3 of them again, like we did with the villains. So let's tell you about our henchmen. Her Majesty's Secret Service. Henchman is Grunther, the skiing henchman for Blofeld.
Hey, in their defense, there was a lot of skiing that happened in that series.
That's true.
Like Lazenby loved that shit.
And in Living Daylights, Brad Whitaker, the wannabe soldier. And License to Kill is Dario, the young Del Toro.
Yeah.
Yes. So that being said, there's only 3 of us here again this week. I forgot to mention that. It was me, Ray, and Tom again. Barry and Wade just hate us and don't want to record with us right now, so we decided, fuck them, we're gonna do it anyway. So let's get started. Does anybody have a strong feeling about who should be number 3? Well, since nobody's jumping in, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in there. I think it's Grunther, and I don't think it's close.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like just the way he went out, and then on top of it, just the character development as a whole. I don't feel like
it was more just muscle that stood in the background most of the time. I mean, he did do things like he knocked Bond out a couple of times. He he killed Bond's MI6 partner, but you never like you said. There's no development. There's no you don't really hear him talk hardly at all.
Yeah, like I said, or there isn't any I don't know. He's an effective villain and henchman. Like I said, he does do the deed, but like I said, at least compared to the other 2, he's not memorable in any way. He's just like any other of the nameless kind of henchman that we've seen in the past. Where it'd be cool if this guy would have had a line or said one thing, like the big Swede and everything for Blofeld that got eaten by piranhas. Not a word of English or anything that the whole movie and was gone in 3 seconds and all that when we did see him fight. I feel like that was kind of like this guy, where when we did kind of get stuff out of him, that big fight scene at the end, it was kind of anticlimactic how it went out.
And he goes out by getting killed by Tracy.
And that's why I said that's why it was kind of anticlimactic like that, to where, like I said, you did prove in the past you were proficient. Like I said, it's not like I'm knocking your skills or abilities here, but yeah.
Yeah, that might be 3.
So are we all in agreement that Grunther should be number 3?
Yeah, after you said something about Tracy beating him, and
yeah. So that leaves us with Brad Whitaker and Dario. What do you guys think here?
Brad Whitaker is very assertive. He is an arms dealer.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, he's a poser. I mean, he went out with a blaze of glory. I'll give him that one.
But I think that was the thing about it. Like I said, he was an arms dealer. This was a man who wanted military accolades and everything. You could see he was playing soldier and everything, and just and really loved it. Like I said, he arms dealer. He even wore fake
medals
and stuff and whatnot. And it even had all the older weaponry and so he collected it and he idolized it, but he wasn't good enough to apparently ever be one, or he wasn't good enough to even, or too cowardly to enlist. I guess it was one of the two.
He had a military weapons museum in his house.
Yeah. But once again, these are somebody that's you either really wanted to join or you were denied access to this. So he was. His is more psychology there, to where I was this is a man who's living out some weird fantasy, and at the same time it's you're not really an arms dealer, you're not really any type of general or soldier.
He was really an arms dealer. He was dealing. He was,
but
guns.
I will say, but once again, I'm dude, this is once again, it's it's fake. It's you want this. You want to be seen as that guy, to where I'm good enough to deal arms, and it's
well, I mean,
you're not.
He's a wannabe soldier, but he is the world's leading arms dealer. He's not faking that.
But I would say anybody who does it outside, Like America's the #1 arms dealer of the world. We know that. Like we are.
Yeah.
But like I said, anybody that does it on the black market, you're a wannabe arms dealer. You're selling weaponry, but you're not a true arms dealer. Like you really have like sub power. You want to be military might. You want that type of accolade and power. This man just doesn't have it, and it's fake throughout the whole thing. So like his is a weird one, but Del Toro is just crazy as shit.
Yeah.
You know, that's I think that's the real thing here.
That's it. They're both psychologically weird, and fucked up, but like one's living a fantasy and the other one is like psychopathy. Like
yeah, he's crazy and he's sick, but at the same time, if you took his character out of the movie, it doesn't really change the movie.
Which one?
No.
Dario doesn't do anything until the very end of the movie. He gets in that elaborate fight with Bond, and then Bond kills him.
Nah, he did that iffy thing with old girl and everything.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh yeah.
That was
That's
really
true.
that was the part of the psychopathy that I was talking about, to where like that's where you seen like the twisted nature of that character and all.
That's very
to
true.
where it's like that's how, like I said, that's why when you got to that fight scene, you were already disgusted by that character because you had that gut feeling from earlier to where like, oh, we know
You're
what
right.
you
I
and
forgot
those
about
guys,
that.
yeah, it's like we know what you and those guys did and all that. And it's like, yeah, like you're that kind of human being. Like that's why his character was legitimately psychotic. Where you can look at the other one as like sociopathy and all that, like a sociopath. But yeah, that's what I mean. Both terrible people and everything.
We don't actually see it happening. They cut the camera away,
It
but
is heavily
he cuts out a man's heart and hands it to that woman in that one scene.
Oh yeah.
When they find Sanchez's old lady cheating on him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he cuts the guy's heart out and hands it to his old lady.
Yeah.
Like that, he has Dario do it.
He's
He's like, Dario, cut his heart out and give it to the woman. And then, like, of course, like I said, when they hold him down, he goes in like this, and then they cut the camera away. But then,
yeah, it's still Bond.
Yeah,
they were trying to be a little edgier with it and all, but
yeah. I mean, especially at that time, they were never going to show anything graphic like that. But I don't even know if they would show that today. Cutting the guy's heart out.
That's a Netflix special.
Well, I mean, if it was a Rob Zombie movie, you're definitely going to see that shit.
Yeah, like I said, once again, if it's a Netflix, it's going on there. Like, it's not going to the big screen. If that's what you mean. Like, well, I guess like House of 1,000 Corpses.
Well, I mean, Devil's Rejects, man, that shit was ooh.
I like that. I like that series. But no, that is the question. So, which one do you want, the psychopath or the sociopath? Like,
right?
Who's your #1 and all that?
That is the good question.
Because like you say, the psychopath did more heinous things, but the sociopath like probably potentially killed more people by like selling arms and weaponry and like just playing that role that he wanted to.
Right. And I think for me, I like them both on my squad if I was a villain, but the general is probably not going to have that kill switch in the moment that Del Toro is going to have.
I don't see the general cutting somebody's heart out just by like, hey, do it, and just no questions asked.
No, here's my thing. I think Brad Whitaker he wants to be the villain. He doesn't want to be the henchman.
Yeah.
He wants to be Kozgov.
He wants that power.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Dario, he legitly is the henchman. Like, and
but that's what I mean. He's that guy. Like, you won't even have to say it. He is a weapon ready to be used. Like I said, you just have to point and it's happening. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like you said, General is going to question because he's going to try to calculate. He wants future power.
Yes.
The other guy just wants chaos in the moment, and I'm willing to do it if you give me the green light. Like that's it.
Now I will say, Dario has one of the more epic deaths of this whole all the Bond movies.
But I think
his death is epic.
But his death is equal to the heinousness of the character. That's why he went out that same way. Because you notice, like, he fell first and everything, cutting him from the feet up and all that. So it's like, you died specifically in this heinous way because of earlier actions. Like,
karma comes for us all.
Like, just don't fight near a rock chipper. Like, that's like, you had so many opportunities to step away from that conveyor belt. Like, You chose to stay there. But yeah, I don't know. As far as if we're going though, Henchmen, I'd say if you could keep the general under leash without him being too ambitious, I'd want the general.
He does seem to implement bigger plots than Dario
But
would.
that's why I want, like I said, Dario. Like I said, Dario's just a pure weapon. He's a hammer.
Mhm.
Like, and now you can only use a
You're
hammer
right.
to hammer. It's like, but the other guy, like the general's, like you're more like a Swiss Army knife. Like I can't use you for big projects, but a lot of little shit I can get done with you.
Well, not only that, but like I feel like if you had both of them, you'd be great. Like Dario, you're my bodyguard.
Yeah.
And Whitaker, you're like my hench. You're my guy. I'm gonna send out into the field to get things done for me, but I'm still the mastermind behind everything.
Well, and even think
You know what I mean?
Even
Right,
think
yeah.
second in command. Like if you had to be like, all right, I need you to step in there and represent me really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you really want to? And who's going
yeah.
to be more professional in that point? Where like,
Right.
hey, Dario, I have to hope that you're just not going to lose your cool and hope that I'm okay with it. Like,
Thank
that's
you.
all.
Yeah, like Whitaker's more like the assistant manager, and like
Yeah,
Dario's more like the third shift grill cook.
Yeah, that's what we're like, hey, it's going to get done in the next 8 hours, no matter what. By the time
I'm drinking 5 Red Bulls and I'm getting it done.
Yeah, like,
So are you saying, Tom, that your vote for number one is Whitaker?
like if I had to, if like I said, if we're pretending that we're the main villain for all these guys, and you had to use them at your disposal, I feel like I could get more of my plot done with Whitaker than I could Darius.
All right. What about you, Ray? What are you thinking here?
I mean, Whitaker was a good strategist. He did have all the play sets in his little toy room.
It's true.
Dario's. I think I'm at side with Tom. I'm gonna have to go Whitaker
You're
on
going,
Tom.
you're going sociopath.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, I will say this. I think you guys are right, but I want to preface it with this.
Okay.
I like Dario's character much better.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
totally. Yeah.
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 Like-
Oh yeah.
Not our, as far as like evil, like pure evil, like yeah.
Yeah.
And Del Toro, great actor. He sold it. Like
Oh, 100% great actor.
Like-
Yeah.
so yeah.
I think he will go down. He'll be more remembered. The character will be more remembered.
Yeah.
If nothing else, because of his death. But you know, he does do some pretty epic things, and I think if you would have told, if you asked us before we went back and watched all these, who's Brad Whitaker, we probably all will look at each other and be like, I don't remember who Brad Whitaker is.
No, because
You know
you'll
what I mean?
you'll remember the actor more in Goldeneye and Beyond
Yeah.
in those movies
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
as a different character.
But like
Yeah.
I said, again, you'll remember Del Toro for that uneasy feeling that his character gives you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, no other character. Let's be honest. Like we've seen almost all of them at this point. Like, name another character that's done something that's given you that feeling. Like no, like none of them. Not even the main villains have done that to me yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's one of those things to where like, ooh, that
Well, I mean,
character.
you think about it, there
that
are
got me.
there
That
are
was-
more popular henchmen like Oddjob and
Yeah.
Jaws, but they don't give you that feeling.
No, but no, like there's that different line of evil and everything that we saw.
Right, but we also, when we did the License to Kill episode, we talked about how this is one of the darkest, if not the darkest, Bond movie there is.
Yeah, well,
Like,
it was that when they went 80s action with it.
yeah, they're killing
Like-
women, they're raping women, they're feeding people to sharks, they're cutting people's legs off, they're cutting a guy's heart out.
There's
Like,
a
there's
lot of-
some
lot of
stuff.
cooking
in
Even
here.
the cap, even the captain of that, what was it? I guess you would call a ship or a yacht or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude fucking imploded in the pressure chamber.
Yeah, that's
tossed
true,
him
I
in
forgot
there,
about
just
that,
like,
yeah.
like, yep,
Mhm.
that's like, yeah, they did, and that was another one to where like camera didn't shy away.
No, it showed the whole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was another feeling like, but you remember those pinpoints in it
Mhm.
Yeah.
and all that, like you said, and they're not necessarily positive ones, but like I said, you remember them.
True.
Yeah.
All right, so we in agreement that Dario is 2, and Whitaker is 1,
Yeah.
and Grunther is 3.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listeners, you can let us know what you think, but that's our 3 in that order: Whitaker, Dario, Grunther, and I think we laid it out pretty well for you.
Indeed.
And thanks for tuning in to the B side.